If I was to ask you what you do for self-care or what comes to mind when you think about self-care, what would you think of? What would pop into your mind? If you're like most of us, you probably just thought about bubble baths and massages and meditation and these really calm and tranquil places. What if I were to tell you that there's a very different way and a much better way to think about self-care? Hey, I'm the real Charles Brown. Welcome to the channel. And this is where we talk about values and identity and purpose and leadership and peak performance. And one of the things that's really important for you to understand about yourself is what you do for self-care. So I want to reframe self-care from this idea of pampering into a better framework of recharging. So instead of just stopping everything you're doing and being calm and sending everyone away and spending a lot of alone time, what I want you to do is I want you to think about self-care as a means to recharge your own batteries. One of the most beneficial things that you will ever realize from self-care is the ability to take care of yourself, the ability to fulfill your own needs, and the ability to, as I've already stated, recharge your own battery. I'll give you an example. One of my non-negotiable values is adventure. So when I'm looking for self-care and I'm thinking about things to do by myself or for myself, I want to incorporate culture. So when I teach self-care to my clients, I describe self-care as the intersection of values and needs. So you take my value of adventure and you combine that for my emotional need for contribution, and one of the greatest self-care activities that's on my calendar every week and every month, and I'll remember to come back to that in a minute, let's put an asterisk there for a second, is this idea that I volunteer in a local community and a local group that does trail maintenance. So what I'm able to do is honor my value for adventure by going out and walking back trails and walking in the back country, which I absolutely love. Being in nature, very important, very valuable, very nurturing for me, and very refreshing and recharging for me. But at the same time, without incurring the guilt of ignoring my other responsibilities, because at the same time that I'm honoring that value for adventure, I'm also contributing my community by performing this trail maintenance, by walking that trail for a very specific reason, fixing anything that I can fix, and then noting anything that does need to be fixed. So when you think about self-care, I really want you to take that menu of spa activities and rip it up and throw it away. And I want you to reframe self-care as a function of your values and your non-negotiable needs. If you don't know what your values are yet and you don't know what your emotional needs are yet, by all means, take my exercises, figure out what those are, watch other videos, or reach out to me directly, and let's talk about what those values and needs are, because they're very, very important for you to be able to function and for you to be able to put these self-care activities together. So one of the other things that's really important about self-care is this idea of intentionality and this idea of kind of effort and commitment to it. The self-care that I just described is kind of intensive. I commit to walking at least 2 trails a month, which means twice a month I have to carve out 3 to 4 hours for this self-care. It's very fulfilling and it's very nurturing, but it's also kind of a big commitment. That's not something that I can do at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning if I want to do that, given that I have another business to run and I have other clients to worry about, right? So what else could I do? And that's part of the challenge and actually part of the fun, and what makes self-care a really fun game is there anything else that I could do that's maybe less of a commitment, but that I could do more frequently? If you looked at my calendar of self-care activities, you would see a very diverse set of activities. Some take little to no commitment, little to no expense, they're very quick. Okay, spoiler, behind the curtain, they're cat videos. Cat videos, believe it or not, are a form of self-care for me because humor and fun is so important to me and important to my life. So if I'm having a bad day, if I'm feeling a rundown, one of the ways that I care for myself is, it doesn't have to be cats, but it typically is cats. I'll go on and I'll just watch some funny videos. It's actually a really healthy and a really fun use for social media. But it's something that I can do that costs nothing, and literally within 30 seconds to 90 seconds, I'm laughing hysterically and I'm feeling a lot better of myself. All the way up to and including a much larger commitment, a much larger activity, such as 1 week in the backcountry camping and really exercising that adventure. So I hope this gives you a better framework for what self-care is and what self-care isn't. I'd love to hear your comments about what you are doing, what is working and what isn't working, because self-care is a very important part of what we do to maintain our own levels of energy and our own levels of satisfaction with our life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. By all means, comment below, ask some questions, push back, or like I asked, tell me what works and what doesn't work. Thanks.